Yo, welcome to another episode of the SoleSavy podcast. My name is Henry Negrete, and today I am joined by the founder of SolePack, Mike Sala. Mike, how you doing?
Good, good. Doing well. Thank you. How about you guys? Thank you for having me. First off, man, appreciate y'all.
Of course, man. I'm excited to talk with you. I know we've been playing this for a while, and yeah, let's start right off the back with a little bit about you, your history in sneakers and basketball, and kind of what led to the idea of SolePack.
For sure. Yeah, it's a long story in the making right now. It's pretty much we're about like 20 years in, right? It's me going to, just to paint the story a little bit, I was going to NYU every day, playing ball in the gym at Coles there was at the time, and just constantly commuting from Staten Island or Borough into New York City to NYU, and just always constantly running out of space in my backpack, right? It's like I'm carrying sneakers around, and I tell that classic story in a Foot Locker bag, athlete's foot bag, and getting caught in subway doors, and it's twisting around my finger. My fingers are turning all different sorts of colors, and one of these days, I had one of those days that just like I need to figure out a better way to carry my sneakers, right? And, of course, it was always books and basketball, so books went in my bag, and there was just no room for my sneakers. So, I can go into that store. I just started, pacing up and down Broadway, every sneaker store from Transit to Yellow Rat Bastard on Canal Street to all the stores on 8th Street, just, classic, New York City, sneaker stores, just asking, does anyone make an accessory to store sneakers on backpacks? And I went up to, 34th Street Garment District. Everyone's like, nope, nope, no one makes that backpack. So I was like, all right, I think I got something here. And I just started cutting up pieces of backpacks, seemingly putting them together, and I had the makings of an accessory that put sneakers on a backpack at that point. So 20 plus years now.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you for doing that because you mentioned a lot of stories that I could relate to as far as storage. I've been using this one. I've had this one for
Hey,
actually a year now. Shout out to you guys. Samir sent this to me last January, and it instantly became my go-to travel bag. I like to travel, no check baggage, so carry on my carry-on suitcase, and then a backpack is so important. You got to have your laptop, and then for me, I really get half of my luggage of a carry-on for two pairs of kicks, and then the other half for clothes or whatever. So, and plus the shoes I'm wearing. And any sneakerhead knows that if it's a weekend trip or a week-long trip, two or three pairs isn't always enough. It sounds crazy, but you got to have your airport shoes, whatever. So I've been using it a lot. Tell me a little bit about your guys' hero products. And I know the one that I have right here has the detachable shoe holders on each side. Blends right perfectly in there, and you can take it off if you just don't need them and you don't want the extra bulk. But can you break down some of you guys' hero products for us?
yeah, for sure. What you pointed out there, the SP1 is, we did this for like a sneaker group out in Oklahoma City. So what you see here is the first product ever created was the SP1. It's an accessory I got patent for back in the day. And for me, it's almost like you reverse engineer the process. Instead of having this whole big backpack that had sneaker compartments, I was like, I think the best way for me to stand out in any crowd is to have an accessory, right? To almost have the tail wag the dog there a little bit. So I started just, creating with that. So that's our SP1. Then after that, it wasn't the backpack that came next. Next was our string bag, our GRF. Not too many people know what that stands for, but, I'm a physical therapist by trade. So, one of the terms in physical therapy is, ground reaction force. It's like you absorb a little bit of the shock, then you propel forward. So the story behind that is, I used to go to all these little sneaker convention shows around here. Shout out to our guys, Ron Ray around here. They used to host all these shows. And a lot of these kids are like, yeah, I don't use a backpack during the summer. I use a string bag, primarily to my events and whatnot. So I was like, oh, so I absorbed what all those kids were telling me. So I just went home into the lab, started cutting up, quality string bags, and just try to configure where the sneakers would go into. And just our whole signature is always keeping your dirty kicks away from your clean gear. So, you know, bag number two was that string bag, and a lot of people love it today to, quick trips to the gym, quick trips to the beach and whatnot. So even for me, when I'm on a trip, it's backpack, what you see back there, my sneakers in there, maybe one or two pairs in there, a string bag too with another, pair of sneakers in there. So it's, as much as you can handle, hand carry wise. And like I alluded to, the third product that came was the full Omega backpack. And for me, that was, I never really imagined doing that from the start, but people just say, hey, why don't you, put together a full complete kit? and it became almost like a whole systematic approach we started doing to how you travel with your sneakers. You know, 4 big trips. We got the backpack plus the SP1 right there. And, you know, for me, I loved just putting that product together because, you know, back in the day, I was influenced, like I alluded to, everything back in 80s, 90s, New York City. And one of my homies used to always have like this 5.5 Sole, like, you know, bucket bag. And I was like, yo, that's such a dope bag, you know, all utilitarian, put everything in there. And, you know, that bag always stuck in my head. And so I just kind of, you know, combined, you know, any Nike backpack or whatever you would see in the basketball realm with, you know, a 5.5 Sole bag, put some attachments on it. And, you know, then those are our 3 products that are currently leading the way.
It got me thinking about the importance of backpacks. As you're growing up as a kid, even as an adult now, if you're commuting or going to the gym, etc., and how like cool and important backpacks were, especially growing up, because it's a piece of equipment by definition, but it, like you mentioned, it's an accessory. And if you love sneakers, you love style, you're not just going to be rocking an accessory just for the utility purpose. You're going to want it to look good. And I'm thinking about the backpacks that I had, and you're right, like you kind of like lace your sneakers up and like put them inside your strap so they hang down because you didn't have room for them, or you didn't want your smelly sneakers to be over it, or over the shoulders, of course. And we really didn't have a solve for that until this.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, like you said, it's just a staple piece. Then we just added a little lifestyle and culture to that. From again, pretty much like a sponge absorbing everything again from when I was here in New York City. It almost became like, you know, for me, it's, you know, you talk about the elements of, you know, hip hop, skating, you know, streetwear, street ball, all those elements are kind of go into how this product was born. And that's why, you know, everything you put out there, it's just organic and grassroots for me. So that's, you know, the special part about this whole journey and who we connect with. So yeah, I appreciate it. It's more than just a bag, we always say, right?
Yeah, well, take me back. We're talking about the influences here, hip hop, and growing up in New York City, being around all of these different cultures. Take me back to then. What were the kicks and the style pieces back then that were getting you into sneakers to the point where here decades later you have a product that's designed for sneakerheads?
Oh man, I would have to even take it back, you know, way before college. For me, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, right? So, you know, they were growing up ahead of me in the 80s, right? And you see, for me, everything is tied into basketball. Like you would hear all these stories with, right? So you have Celtics playing Lakers every year. It seemed like in the finals, which it probably was, right? So you start seeing the weapons commercials coming, right? I don't know if you remember those. Everyone's coming in with their weapons, Magic, Bird, Isaiah, and my guy was Bernard King at the time. So you start connecting with these stories, man. It's like, oh, you know, dang, you know, it's crazy. And then you start having, you know, for me, the real poignant part, I think, when thinking about it, is like when marketing really grasped me, right? It was like, it was all, I guess, the Jordan 1 release. You know, you had the band commercial, the liftoff commercials, the Mars Blackham commercials. I think, you know, rewinding it back, I was like, wow, man, they really got me with all that marketing stuff, because that stuff was like, woo, you know, to this day, it's, you know, those shoes like 1, 2, and 3 for me. It was a blessing for me to see all the 2s come back, because that's when I was like in elementary school, to date myself a little bit. This kid pulled up to one of our, you know, 8th grade basketball games, and he was wearing a pair of 2s. I was like, what are those, man? I was like, you know, from that day on, it was like I just started, you know, later in my years, I had that classic story. I was like, I never could really grab those pairs of sneakers when I was a kid. So, you know, as I got older, I started just, you know, getting into just the, you know, the classics, the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5s, pretty much.
What do you think about the sneaker industry today, now where, again, decades removed from those first influences from you? A lot has happened. You are no doubt a player in the game because you have a product that, again, is catered to a lot of sneakerheads. What are your thoughts on where it's at now?
There's so much, you know, going on from reselling. You know, initially, you know, the whole wave was, oh man, that's, you know, the true OGs, like that's not authentic to the game. But, you know, I think things are made to evolve, right? Yeah. And I think there is a sacred space for that as well, if done right, and it just allows access to people to get, you know, more shoes, especially, you know, I still can't wrap around, you know, the whole thing of bots going on, and the whole sneakers app, how everyone seems to be catching L's and all that too. So, you know, I think there is a little bit more, you know, if we talk about basketball too, you know, there seems to be a lot more, you know, signature lines these days compared to, you know, back in the day. Like you said, it would just be a few guys, or like a whole force campaign, a flight campaign that would endorse like some semis, you know, softly endorse a few players. this day and age, it seems like there is, more of a focus on a few, players that a certain brand would highlight. Of course, Nike leading the way, dominating. But yeah, I'm still interested to see where we go, because I love seeing independent brands, take a rise. We work with, LG from Ethics brand too. He's been on this too. Love supporting independent brands there too. So it's really interesting to see how the players, small businesses like myself, to have a certain niche, piece of the pie. So we love supporting small brands as well.
You create SolePack to solve a problem that you directly identified coming up. Fast forward to 2017, you catch the eye of the NBA lab. That partnership kicks off, and then it's led to partnerships with different teams. But taking back to 2017, how did that partnership come to life?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's you're getting into we officially launched like 2011, like when Twitter was popping, and I was still a physical therapist at the time. You're trying to juggle still a lot of things, and so your business is slowly taking off. It's like a hobby at that point, but you start seeing all the traction take off. The sneakerheads showing love. Shout out to Jay, Belsky at the time. I just remember he did a lot of Twitter posts for us, and had like his sneaker room, and he had this pair of LeBron corks that just sat in these our original pair of Solepacks, man. So all these guys that just did that for us, truly means a lot. And so the sneaker culture intertwined with basketball, again, just our roots were just starting to build momentum. And of course, I was like just cruising online, checking out cool products that were somewhat, because we couldn't penetrate the market by, all right, Nike, let's work with you. Adidas, let's work with you. I kind of tried to find where the niches were, where we're in that gray area ourselves. So who can we link with at that point? So funny enough, I used to always knock on, NBA lab stuff, but, they were doing their own thing. So they finally reached out to me around that time, 2017, Billy Kidd, shout out to him, just seeing our vision. And he's like, yeah, you have a great product that just, speaks everything about, basketball culture, sneaker culture, and let's work. Let's get you on board to, represent a few teams on East Coast, West Coast. And again, just one of those moments again, man, where it's like, mom, I made the league, man. It's, you have those dreams of the kid making the league, and just for all these little moments to actually let you taste it a little bit is mind-boggling to me. And I just pinch myself every day that, those guys came knocking. And but just same thing, you never rest on those laurels. You just keep going and trying to build on that momentum, and here we are, 2023 now, man.
Was there a team or a moment or a player you seen wearing the bag or interacting with it when it kind of just hit you, and you had that moment where you look back and you're like, wow, like all that hard work really paid off?
Not yet with an exact player as of yet. We're waiting for that moment to happen still, but I think that's the next plateau the next level we get to, which I feel we're getting there, man. My dream is to have someone just down the NBA tunnel coming down there, man, just shoot back, detach. I heard your conversation with the Eastside Golf folks the other day, man. Just same concept, man. Just Oh my God, just to have a shoe bag, more power to us, the people in the game. If to have a shoe bag in the tunnel, man, would be 110% for us a win. So I just look forward to that. And like you said, working with Tauren, we're looking to build with him, and nothing but love for Tauren and his team.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the product collab with Tauren Prince. How did that come to be?
You keep digging in this business, right? You start developing relationships with all different folks, and you just start getting in conversations. And our guy Samir out in LA was big dot connector, just introducing us to folks. CAA Sports, we got in touch with CAA, the NBA Lab introduced us to CAA Sports, and we just started just conversations, and little by little, oh, we got a sneaker guy that would really love would be interested in checking out your products. And we sent stuff to Tori, and he was like, yeah, he's more than down to support a small business on the come up. And we appreciate his vision to see the big picture of things. And I think from there, currently to this day, we're just going to start telling that story of hustlers, no matter what sport you're in, from basketball, entrepreneur side, all different types of sports. That's what our bag stands for. Is just that never give up mentality. I think that's the essence of the brand. Other than the product, SolePack as a product is what it is, but the the non-physical part is, we're a movement, just showing kids, showing anyone of certain age that you stay committed, you stay resilient, that like you said, you get to the league one way or the other, and hopefully we get in every league, every professional league out there, every till sky's the limit, man, and we just keep dreaming.
I do see your guys' involvement on the youth hoops front, and super involved with a lot of the young talent coming up. I think that's really cool. Can you jumping back to the Prince collab and some of the other stuff you're working on, can you share a little bit more about the Pro Pack campaign?
Sure, yeah. The Pro Pack, if anyone just jumps on the site, if you just click on the Pro Pack, it's just, he's going to be like the face. He's the lead guy that's just going to pretty much, what I alluded to is just it's not just the NBA player, right? It's that any pro player, whether it's G League, whether it's playing overseas, any pro player that's committed to their dreams, we're here to pack them on their impossible dreams, so we unite with them from what they believe in, that the odds are insurmountable, but every day we're out there, we're packing up our dreams, we're heading out that packing up our kicks, heading to the gym at 5-6 in the morning, and that our stories continue to be told. And that's what our Pro Pack campaign is. It's not the the elite athlete or whatever, the pro player that's had their road paved for them already. It's that their grit and that grind. Those are the players that we want part of our campaign. But we'll take any of those players on the golden road too. So
Nice, yeah.
No hate for those guys.
Yeah, a lot of this messaging kind of overlaps with the idea of being an athlete, a competitor. When you talk about being a competitor, there's always going to be competition. And since you launched, I'm sure you've seen other bags enter the space. I know I have over the years. What separates SolePack's products from some of the other products that are similar on the market?
Hey, again, more people in the space. Much respect to everybody, man. Yep. So, yeah, I think just our story, product wise, I think us having separate, spots, an accessory. My wife always tells me it's all about the accessory, right? You have the main part, the backpack, then you can keep switching up the accessory. Yep. Just having that system of creativity, of expression. You want to rep the Knicks one day, you rep the Knicks. You want to be, more on the classy side, we got like leather pieces there, so we have that ability to rep your high school team. So I think the versatility is where, we have a certain unique, play in the market there, which, I'm happy to, to be in that unique space. But yeah, I think just our story and just the versatility with our product is what separates us.
As an entrepreneur there's tons of people out there that have this dream of this product or this brand in this particular space. You've been at it for over a decade, and then even longer than that when you talk about the inspiration. What is your advice to an entrepreneur that's just getting going, or is maybe somewhere in that middle where, you start hitting those bumps and you need to overcome? First
of all, yeah, you got to look yourself, in the mirror every day and just, ask yourself if you're, truly committed to and passionate about what you're doing, right? You can't, I'm always in it for the long haul. And I think the entrepreneur that's in it, I could only, relate my story. I'm committed for the long term. So you're going to have to, be resilient. You're going to have, tremendous amount of with failures if that's how you look at certain things, if they don't go your way. But just the amount of resilience, and you should try to find how you separate yourself from the crowd, right? It's, you always hear though, Jeff Staple, I heard all those podcasts of him talking about where are you going to fill out that, the gray space? Where there's tons, you just have to look where, especially as, things constantly evolve, where do you stand out and separate yourself from the crowd? Because there's probably still little niche products that you come out with, as long as you're committed to it and it's affected your life, perhaps, like just like for me, the solving that problem, right? It's like I always needed an extra pair of kicks and I just wanted to throw it on my backpack. So find something that means something to you, that to improve your life, perhaps, because who knows, maybe millions, hundreds of other thousand people have that same problem, and I just want those folks to stay committed to something that they're passionate about.
Where can people find it? I know you guys have the website. Is there anywhere, where are the places people can buy SolePack?
So we got, our NBA lab bags are at the NBA store. We got local retailers like the Richmond Hood company out here in Staten Island. A few, spots in, GBNY. They have some of our stuff online. Giant Peach out in, in the Bay Area. Little by little, we try to drive as much as we can, D2C, directly through our website. But yeah, just anyone looking to carry us, man, hit us up.
And one thing I've noticed about you guys too, like you mentioned, you guys are never afraid to reach a hand down to somebody on the come up, including us. You guys showed love to us early on and are always down to work. So if somebody wants to work with SolePack, they have an idea for a design or a team, is that something that's possible? They can reach out to you guys?
Yeah, for sure. We always welcome, like I said, from sports to art, we have like a moving pieces collection where it's dedicated to artists for, that's such a unique canvas for folks to express on our bags. So, it's sports as well as, culture. So we really try to, flex in those realms, man. So yeah, please hit us up, man. I'm always responsive. Give me a little time, but we'll always get back to you, man.
Awesome to hear, man. The last question, we've talked about hoops all day. I know you grew up playing ball. We've been talking about performance sneakers, it feels like, for all year. There's so much good stuff out there right now. What's your favorite basketball performance sneaker of all time?
All time. Oh my goodness, man. That would probably, I think during my heydays, I used to play like in the Air Adjust. I don't know if you know what those are, man. Yeah. Air Adjusts, Air Up Tempos, twos. I really love. They're really, super. I have a wide foot, and I love the cushion of the bubble, man. So that's why, currently I still play like twice a week in the Lower East Side still. Nice. Shout out to Ed and the whole Rivington crew. Yeah, we always, so I currently play in addition to the LG ones, I play in the LeBron's 18s now, I think it is, man. I just like that soft ride. I tried playing Kyrie's. I just couldn't do it for whatever reason. I don't know. My cutting skills are, I'm not as fast as I used to be. I need more comfort than, than support or whatnot for right now. So.
Yeah, I feel you, man. You got to get the shoe that matches your game. I'm with you on that one. That's why I tell people I love the Luka. He's not the most athletic guy on the floor, man, but he knows how to get around. So Luka to me has been perfect. But Mike, appreciate you joining us today. Thanks to SolePack for all the support. And I'm telling you, people, like, this thing immediately my number one travel bag right now. And I have to say, a shout out too. It fits. I wear a size 12, so and it fits the shoes perfectly too. So if you have any concerns about the sizing, it should fit. I would assume anything 13 or 14 or below. Or maybe there's some other sizes, but man, you gotta check out SolePack.
Can I give a shout out to my rest of my team? I want to give love to, man. Will, our guy down in Memphis, heading our NIL division, and Rudy and Gigi up here doing our grassroots New York City, basketball activations, man. So shout out to everybody, man. We're, just keep digging, and grassroots connections is what gets us to another day, man. So thank you guys, SoleSavy, man, DP, everybody, man. Thank you guys.
For sure. Thank you, Mike. Shout out to the whole SolePack team, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do next.
Peace, everybody.